Hi! Welcome to lesson 5. So today we're gonna learn equations of perpendicular lines. Okay, before that, let's look at our previous homework for the previous lesson first, yeah? Okay, so let's look at our question number 6a. So it's just simultaneous equation, so please tick on your answers. So it's in a coordinate form, must be in a coordinate form. So bracket 1, comma, negative 2. This one is 4, comma, half. This is Jackson's from year 9 science 2 working. So let's mark his work. Okay, let's look at question number 7. Question number 7, okay, we discussed this already. So please tick the answer. Double check your answer again, yeah? Okay, question number 8, also discussed already. Double check your answer again. Tick your answer. And then question number 10. This is the answer. And question number 9 is your homework. Okay, I would want you to do a bit of a correction, okay, especially when you want to draw or sketch, okay, even you want to draft out the line. Y equals to 2x plus 3, okay. It's not always the line going down like this. When the line is going down, it means it's a negative gradient, okay. It's a negative gradient. But here it says y equals to 2x plus 3. Going up like this. So this is your y equals to 2x plus 3. And then it's parallel, okay, parallel to this line y equals to 2x plus 3. So it's supposed to be like this. Okay, and then pass through P. Here is your P, and then here is your 3, negative 1. And your line is like this. This line is y equals to 3x minus 11. Okay, and this is the line that you are looking for, y equals to mx plus c. Okay, I know your answer is correct. Okay, your final answer is P bracket 4, 1. But if you draft it out, okay, please be careful of the gradient. If the gradient is positive, remember to draw it upwards. Okay? Okay, so the answer is 4, 1. I think this one a lot of you get correct. Okay, let's look at question 11. Question 11 also the same. Since it's a y equals to 2x minus 6, it's supposed to be a positive gradient. So the line is supposed to be going upwards like this. Okay, going upwards like this. This is your y equals to 2x minus 6, and it's a parallel to this ax plus b. And this line passing through negative 1, 7 like this. Okay, and the answer is 9 and 2. A is 2 and 9 for B. Okay, please tick the answer. So, previous lesson we learned about parallel lines and equations of parallel lines. And for this week, we're gonna learn perpendicular, okay, perpendicular lines. Okay, we're gonna learn perpendicular lines first before we learn equations of perpendicular lines. Okay, so in perpendicular line, what you need to know is two lines. If we have two lines and they intersect at each other at a right angle, then we can say these two lines are perpendicular to each other. Okay, and when one of the line has a gradient of m, so the other perpendicular line, okay, has a gradient of negative 1 over m. Okay, look at here, it's negative 1 over m. Or another word for that is we call it as negative reciprocal. Can you repeat after me? Negative reciprocal. Hey, repeat please. Negative reciprocal. Again, negative reciprocal. Okay, good. Okay, you remember that word negative reciprocal because I'm gonna use that words very frequent when I come across perpendicular. Okay, when I come across perpendicular lines, when we want to form a equation, okay, or the gradient, I will always use the word negative reciprocal. So please understand the word negative reciprocal. But before that, okay, you remember these words first. Okay, negative reciprocal. Okay, so you look at this octopus here. It says m1 times m2 equals to negative 1. Okay, so when we have these two lines that are perpendicular to each other, okay, when this gradient and the other gradient, when we times together, it will get negative 1. Okay, unlike parallel lines is m1 equals to m2. It's exactly the same. m1 and m2, they are the same. But for perpendicular lines, kan, m1, when we times with m2, it will become -1, okay? Or, easier way to remember is the gradient, if your m1, here is your m, okay, this is your m1, this is your m1, and this is your m2, these two, when you times together, you will get -1, okay? Or, easier way, as I say, easier way, if the gradient is m, the other gradient will be negative reciprocal. That's why I say negative reciprocal, okay? Okay, before I explain to you what is negative reciprocal again, okay, I explain to you first what is perpendicular. Okay, so this is a line. So if we want to draw a perpendicular line, it must be 90 degree like this. Okay, it's a perpendicular to each other. Okay, as I say, if two lines intersect at right angle, okay, they are called perpendicular lines to each other. Okay, how about like this? This is not, okay? This one is definitely not perpendicular lines. They are parallel. Okay, this is perpendicular lines. Okay, if like this is not perpendicular, okay, I give you a last one example again. So perpendicular line is like this. Okay, if like this is not, they cross at each other, but they are not perpendicular. Perpendicular make 90 degree. Okay. Okay, so now what is negative reciprocal? Apa tu negative reciprocal? Okay, you look at the first one. Okay, if a number is 5, then we can say the negative reciprocal for this 5, okay, is, okay, you look at these two fishes here. One says change sign, the other one says flip it. Okay, so whenever we have negative reciprocal, what we do is we change sign, we flip it. We change sign and we flip it. Okay, so this 5 is positive. So if it's a positive, then when we change the sign, it will become a negative. Okay, and this 5, okay, it's actually 5 over 1, right? So if 5 over 1, when we flip it, is 1 over 5. Okay, so we can say that the negative reciprocal of 5 is -1 over 5. Or another way round is, the negative reciprocal of -1 over 5 is 5. Okay, they are interchangeable. Okay, they are interchangeable. Okay, look at the second one. -3. So what is the negative reciprocal for -3 leh? Okay, remember, you change sign and flip it. Change sign, flip it. Repeat after me, please. Change sign and flip it. Okay, so -3, when we negative reciprocal, it means we change the sign, become positive, and 3 is coming from 3 over 1. When you flip it, it becomes 1 over 3. So it's positive 1 over 3. Okay? Alright, so you look at the third one. Okay, this one's supposed to be 4. You look at the third one. It's 2 over 3, right? Okay, so we change the sign to negative. Since it's a positive, we change it to negative. And then 2 over 3, we flip it, become 3 over 2. Okay, and -7 over 4, change sign, become positive, and then 7 over 4 become 4 over 7. Okay, so I can say that the negative reciprocal for -7 over 4 is 4 over 7. Or another way around, which is the negative reciprocal for 4 over 7 is -7 over 4. Okay? Okay. Let's do some practice here. Okay, let's do some practice over here. Okay, if my 4 is my gradient, my m1, my first m, this is my m1. Okay, if I want to find my m2, my second m, which these two lines are perpendicular, okay, we are talking about perpendicular now, okay, not parallel. We are talking about perpendicular. Perpendicular means it's a 90 degree. Okay, so if my first gradient is 4, my second gradient, the second line which are perpendicular to each other, okay, my gradient will be, okay, it will become negative reciprocal. So it's a negative, we change sign and flip it, so -1 over 4. Okay, so if my m1 is 4, then my m2 will be negative 1 over 4. In this case, we are talking about perpendicular, okay? And these two m, when we times together, okay, 4 when we times with a negative 1 over 4, we get negative 1. That's why we call m1 times m2 equals to negative 1, okay? So, let's try again. Okay, I want you to try out, okay? Can you answer me as fast as you can? Okay, if my m1 is 3 over 2, so what is my m2? You got it? Is it negative 2 over 3? If not, you try again. Okay, it's a negative 2 over 3 because the negative reciprocal for 3 over 2 is negative 2 over 3. So if my m1 is 3 over 2, okay, let's say if my m1 is like this, the gradient is 3 over 2, then my other gradient will be negative 2 over 3. Okay, so remember this, okay, try again. If my first m is 1 over 2, what is my m2? 2 seconds. 1, 2. Okay, so the answer is negative 2. Do you get it correctly? If yes, well done. If not, you have to practice by your own. Okay, just remember, change sign, flip it. Okay, that's what we call negative reciprocal. Alright? Okay. Let's go to example 15. Okay, let's go to example 15. So, we want to determine whether each of the following pairs of lines are perpendicular. Okay, we want to find out whether these two lines, they are perpendicular or not. Okay, we are not going to draw two lines and find out whether they are perpendicular or not. Okay, we want to know whether they are perpendicular by using the notes that I'm given to you here. Okay, remember to copy this down. Okay, so you must remember the first m, when you times with the second m, is equals to negative 1. Okay, that is how we determine they are perpendicular lines. Or you can use, if the first first gradient is m, so your perpendicular line, your m2, must be negative reciprocal. Okay, either way will do. Okay, right, let's look at A. So the m here is already you already can see what is your m. It's negative 2. Okay, it's negative 2 here. And the other second equation, the gradient here is 1 over 2 because it's already y equals to mx plus c, already ready for you. Okay, I purposely do part A for you like this so you can compare. Okay, so this m1 is negative 2 and this m2 is 1 over 2. Okay, I write m1. m1 is negative 2, your m2 is 1 over 2. So these two numbers, when we times together, oh, we get negative 1. Okay, so if we get negative 1, we show that they are perpendicular. So yes, they are perpendicular. Yes, perpendicular. Okay, so this is the answer. Yes, perpendicular. How do we show that? We show these two numbers when we times together is negative 1. Okay. Okay, how about B? B is not written in y equals to mx plus c. So what you're gonna do is you have to make y as subject. Okay, so what I do is I move my 3y to the other side, negative 3y to the other side, because I want to get rid of the negative, and the 2 I move it to the other side, become minus 2, so 4x minus 2. So I move my 3, so everything divided by 3, so this one becomes 4 over 3x minus 2 over 3. Okay, so my m1 is 4 over 3. Okay, how about my m2? Okay, same goes to here. What I do is I'm gonna move my negative 4y to the other side, become plus, and negative 7 to the other side. So it's 4y equals to 3x plus 7. And my 4 I divide for both terms here. So my m here is, m2 here is 3 over 4. Okay, so my m1 here is 4 over 3, and my m2 here is 3 over 4. Okay, so it's obviously it's not negative reciprocal to each other. Okay, so it's a no, but you have to prove it. You cannot just say no. Okay, unless if you say no because they are not negative reciprocal to each other, but it's quite long, so I would rather write this one. 4 over 3 m1, when I times with 3 over 4, I get 1. Okay, it's not negative 1. Okay, not negative 1. So it's no, it's not perpendicular. Okay? Okay, part C. Same thing goes to part C. What I do is I will make y as subject. You can try it by your own. Okay, and at this side here, I will move negative 2y to the other side. Okay, so here I can see my m1 is negative 2 over 5 and my m2 here is 5 over 2. Yeah, they are negative reciprocal to each other. Okay, or I will just write like this. I show them my m1 is this, my m2 is this, and negative 2 over 5 when I times with 5 over 2 is equals to negative 1. Yes. Okay, so it's a yes, perpendicular. Okay. Alright, let's look at example 16. So the straight line is perpendicular to the line. Okay, the two equations are given. Find the value of k. Okay, so we know that these two lines are perpendicular. The keyword here is the word perpendicular. Okay, so when we see perpendicular, okay, you must think of this. Okay, m1 times m2 equals to negative 1. Or you must think of the negative reciprocal, which is faster. Okay, reciprocal. Okay, so let's look at the first line. X minus 3y minus 6 equals to 0. Okay, so here what I do is I will change this as y I will make it y as subject. So it's 1 over 3x minus 6 over 3. Okay, so my m is 1 over 3. And then my second equation is 2kx plus y minus 3 equals to 0. Here also I make y as subject. So it's negative 2kx plus 3. Okay, so from here I can see my m2 is negative 2k. Okay, and I know that these two gradient when we times together is negative 1. Okay, we have two method of doing this. Okay, the first method is what I do is 1 over 3, I times negative 2k, I get negative 1. Okay, so from here I will find my k, make k a subject. Okay, I'll move the 3 to the other side. So it's negative 2k equals to negative 3 and k equals to negative 3 over negative 2, which is 3 over 2. Okay, or I change one of the m to negative reciprocal first lah. Okay, so what I do is 1 over 3, I change to negative reciprocal, so it's negative 3. Okay, 1 over 3, negative reciprocal means you change the sign and flip it. Okay, so negative 3 equals to negative 2k equals to this. So I can get this straight away. And my k is 3 over 2. It's the same. Okay, it's just how you interpret your perpendicular. Okay, either way we'll get the answer anyway. Okay, right, that's for example 16. Okay, let's look at exercise 7.6. Today I will cover question number 2 and number 4 for you. Please copy the questions and answers here. Okay, you can pause the video and try it by your own first. Okay, and then after you finish doing it, then you compare your answer with mine. Right? Okay, in that way, then you can stop and think a while of how to do these questions. Okay? Okay, so now I assume you already do it by your own. Okay, let's compare your answer with my answer. Okay, but if you cannot do it, it's okay. You can refer to here. So this one, show that A, B, C, these three coordinates, okay, you're given these three coordinates, form a right angle triangle and state which angle is the right angle. Okay, so we know these 3 points will form triangle, okay, but they say right angle triangle, okay, so we need to know which angle is right angle triangle. Is it ABC? Like that? Or is it BAC like that? Okay, or is it C here, AB like that? We don't know. That's what they're asking. State which angle is the right angle, right? So we need to find out, but how? So we know that if right angle, okay, if right angle, or we can say another word for right angle is perpendicular, right? So whenever you see this perpendicular, you must think of the negative reciprocal, or you can think of the m1 times m2 equals to negative 1. Okay, so this case, I find my m gradient for AB first, and then I find my gradient for BC, and I find my gradient for AC, and see which two gradient they are negative reciprocal to each other. Okay, so MAB, gradient of AB, okay, you know the formula for the gradient already. So y2 minus y1, okay, minus negative 1 become plus, over 5 minus 2, I get 5 over 3. And my gradient of BC, okay, I find AB and BC first. I try only, luck only, see whether if it's a negative reciprocal. So MBC is y2 minus y1, so I use 4 minus negative 2 become plus 2 over 5 minus 15, so becomes 6 over negative 10, so which gives you a negative 3 over 5. You see these two? These two already gives you negative reciprocal. Okay, if you already know the negative reciprocal earlier on when I teach you that part, okay, you can repeat that part again one more time. Try to practice on your negative reciprocal. If you can think of negative reciprocal very fast, then you can do this kind of question very fast without times these two number and get negative 1. You know, without pressing the calculator, 5 over 3 times negative 3 over 5. Oh, it's a negative 1. Okay, so negative reciprocal is quite fast for you to do. So you can see 5 over 3, when you flip and change the sign is negative 3 over 5. We know that these two already are perpendicular. Okay, so here, but then we need to show it out lah. We need to show it out because here they say show that ma. Okay, it's not always whatever that you think of, you must write it down. Okay, don't think of it and then just assume the examiner can think of what you're thinking. Okay, so after this, you must show that they are right angle triangle, right? So 5 over 3, you must show lah, 5 over 3 times negative 3 over 5. Oh yes, it's a negative 1. Oh yeah, they are perpendicular to each other now. Okay, you show it out like that. So, okay, this is just a draft. It's just a draft. So gradient of AB, let's say it's like this. This is 5 over 3. Okay, this is AB. The gradient is 5 over 3. And then your BC is like that. Okay, BC. Okay, and the gradient here is negative 3 over 5. Okay, makes sense, Gradient going up is 5 over 3, going down is negative, Okay, so you form a right angle triangle already like that, right? Okay, so you already show by here. You already show that it's a negative 1 here. And you need to state which angle is the right angle triangle. So angle B, or to be specific, angle ABC, okay, is the right angle. Oh, like this better. Equals to 90 degree. Done. Okay, this one shown, and then this one ABC equals to 90 degree. Okay, now let's look at question 4. Okay, question 4. 3 points have coordinates A, B, and C. Calculate the values of T if angle ABC equals to 90. Okay, angle ABC equals to 90, meaning to say that you have like that lah, ABC 90. So the gradient of AB and the gradient of BC, they are perpendicular to each other. Okay, if I mean the gradient perpendicular to each other, and also it's a negative reciprocal. Okay, and it's also negative reciprocal. So what we're gonna do here is we find gradient of AB first. Okay, this gradient of AB equals to y2 minus 1 over x2 minus x1. So what I'm gonna do is 0 minus 2 over 9 minus 1, negative over 8, which is negative 1 over 4. And my gradient of BC, okay, my gradient of BC here is t minus 0 over 6 minus 9. So it's t over negative 3. Okay. Just now the drawing is only draft, but after you calculate, you find out that your gradient AB is a negative 1 over 4. So your gradient not supposed to be going, your line not supposed to be going up like that. Okay. So I'm gonna redraw a nice one. So negative is supposed to be going down like that. Okay, so this one I assume is like going up. Okay, so it's a 90 degree. So this one I assume it's a AB. So the gradient here is negative 1 over 4. Okay, so the other gradient will be 4. This M2 will be 4. Okay, so this M2 will be equals to 4, meaning to say that this gradient of BC, since it's a t over negative 3, since it's a t over negative 3 and it's equals to 4, so your t equals to negative 12. Okay, or you can do this. You know that this gradient AB and gradient BC, when we times together, equals to negative 1. This one I use M1 times M2 equals to negative 1. Okay, so negative negative become positive. I times t times 1 and 4 times 3 is 12. So t is also negative 12. Okay, either way will do. Okay, you choose one of the way that you understand. Okay, okay, and then part B, this is part A just now, and then part B. This is only a draft, it's not to scale. Okay, part B. AC is perpendicular to BC. Okay, now they're saying that this AC is perpendicular to BC. Okay, so we find MAC first, the gradient of AC, which is y2 minus y1. Okay, we use these 2 points. So t minus 2 over 6 minus 1, which is t minus 2 over 5. Okay, and your gradient of BC, because here they say AC is perpendicular to BC, so you must find gradient of BC. So BC, now I will use these two, B and C. So it's T, you already found it earlier on in part A. Okay, you look at this, you already found it here. So I will just write it down, which is T over negative 3. Okay, so these two, when you times together, equals to negative 1. Okay, I will just use one of the method only lah. I'm not doing both. Okay, negative T over 3 equals to negative 1. Okay, so I times the negative here can be belong to top or bottom. I let it bottom, but not both top and bottom, because if both top and bottom together, it become plus. So I will just bring it down. Okay, so the T, when I times with T minus 2, it will become like that, over negative 15, 5 times 3, 5 times the negative 3. Okay, after that, T square minus 2t, I bring over the negative 15 to the other side, becomes times negative 15, so it's 15. So this one is 2t square minus 2t minus 15 equals to 0. And this one I can do my factorization, or your Ultraman. Okay, you do it your own. I just show it, I can do it like this. So t is equals to 5 and your t is equals to negative 3. Okay, so that's my answer for my t. Okay, calculate the value of s, value with the s. With the s means it can be one answer or two answers. Okay, that's for question number 4. Okay, so your task here is question number 1 and question number 3. Okay, it's easier than my 2 and 4. So your lesson 5 must consist of example 15, 16, and remember your notes are example 7.6, number 2, number 4, and also the homework question number 1 and number 3. Okay, submit to me through the assignment post. Okay, so that's all from me. Bye.